Newfoundland is my muse. I don't get to spend too much time here, more now than any time since I turned 18 years old, but I'm away far more than I'm here. When I am here, I try to use every waking second capturing video, little immortalized pieces of time and space that I can look back on at any time I want. Pieces of time and space that I can stitch together and use as backdrops to stories that I want to share about this place. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, I don't know if that's still true, but it definitely was not too long ago. But regardless of how much farther along I am now compared to, say, 2 years ago, you can't really ask me for like videography tips or whatever, because I'm just switching my camera on and trying stuff with a fairly basic understanding of how cameras work. Like, I know how to compose, expose, and focus. I know what FPS is and what shutter speed is and how these things work together to make this look like this instead of like this. I feel like I'm able to showcase Newfoundland in a way that makes it look pleasing to the eye, but I don't really know what I'm doing. And someone who does actually know what they're doing when it comes to video will easily be able to poke holes in what I'm doing. But I know enough, I suppose. When I'm in Newfoundland shooting what I want to shoot, I can make some pretty cool stuff happen. I'm barely scratching the surface on the full capabilities of what my cameras can do, but I know my way around them enough to kind of go on autopilot and get the shots I need without thinking too much about it. I can mix my basic understanding of camera mechanics with some solid instinct, and if I do say so myself, things often turn out pretty good. These are my tools. A pretty powerful Panasonic Lumix G9 II mirrorless camera, my trusty Osmo Pocket 3, and my DJI Air 3 drone with dual lenses. I only use a fraction of the features that any one of these little beasts are capable of, but I know enough about each one of them to grab slices of Newfoundland that I stitch into pretty little 10-minute videos that I share on YouTube. I've been doing that with intention for about 2.5 years. 2.5 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing, but over that period of time, 7,000 of you have enjoyed my videos enough to subscribe to my channel as of right now. Most of my videos about Newfoundland are watched by a couple of thousand people each time I share one. Over the past 2.5 years, you all have clicked on my videos 1,000,000 times. With numbers like that, I'm far from conquering YouTube, but those numbers aren't bad for someone who had no idea what they were doing 2.5 years ago. So I can't really say I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. I figured out what I needed to figure out in order to reach a decent starting point, and that was enough in the beginning. I don't know everything, but I know enough for now. I just really want to showcase Newfoundland to the world, so I learned enough about video and about cameras to get started. And I try to get a little bit better at what I'm doing every time I turn my camera on. Now the idea is to keep improving little by little. Keep learning how to use my tools a little more each time I switch them on. It was important to me to get started, so I found a way. And I will keep learning and keep trying to get better at what I'm doing.
I got a hot turkey dinner with fries and veggies and dressing and gravy.
A little while before I bought my first camera and started all of this video stuff, I took on another challenge. This one was different though. It was a new challenge for me, but if I couldn't figure this one out, I'd have no excuses at all. When I became a dad for the first time, I had no idea what I was doing, but I had a template that I could follow, and as long as I followed it, there was no way I was going to fail. I've been lucky. I have a good mother and a good father. I've talked about mom in a couple of my videos, but this one's for dad. My dad has set an example for me on how to be a good husband and a good daddy to my boys. I try every day to live up to his example. My challenges are different from his challenges. I'm sure there were times that he struggled in his role and sometimes I struggle now. But his example helps me figure things out when I need to figure things out. Here's what amazes me though. My dad was able to put it all together to become the man he is, but he really had no idea what he was doing. He figured out what his priorities were and he ran straight toward them. I'm sure he made some mistakes along the way. Not that I've ever seen them. But he always seemed to know what he was doing, and he always did what turned out to be the right thing. He built a solid foundation for himself and added to that over the years as he learned lessons. And he became a great husband, a great dad, and a great man. But how? My dad wasn't offered the template that he would later provide for me. His dad passed away when he was just 7 years old. He can't really tell me stories about my grandfather because he can barely remember him. He had a great relationship with his mother, but she passed when he was only 16 or 17. How he learned to be a husband or a father is almost purely on instinct. And he absolutely excelled in both areas as if he studied how to do it. I know he's not perfect, but I also know he never tried to be perfect. He just wanted to be a good man.
Little lens up on top of it, say cheese. Cheese, give it away. Give it away. Okay.
I'm so proud to be the son of Randy Royal, and I hope I can be a fraction of the husband to my wife and daddy to my boys as he has been to my mom, my siblings, and me. He had no idea how to do this, but he wanted to do it. So he figured it out, and he's doing a hell of a job. You don't have to know what you're doing. If it's important to you, you'll find a way to make it work. You'll figure it out if it's something you have to do.
Yes. To the last, right?
You said last time. Last one.
I am Randy Royal. I'm born in St. John's, living in Mount Pearl the past almost 50 years now, actually. I worked at the post office for 37 years, loved it immensely, had a great time there. Retired 11 years ago, and here we are today.